What if going to prison was never a mistake, but a calculated move to start a war?
You and I, we are at war.
What if the only way to take down a criminal empire was to walk straight into its heart, unarmed and alone? Jack Stone didn't enter prison to serve time. He went in to tear a criminal empire apart from within, not as a cop, not as a killer, but as a man who could no longer stand by while the innocent suffered and monsters ruled from the shadows. The movie begins with Officer Green, a stern and dutiful law officer, assigned to deliver a suspicious sum of money to Ballum, a notorious criminal housed in a luxury prison cell. But Ballum is no ordinary prisoner. He's a ruthless drug lord who continues to run his empire from the inside. Ballum runs it all: drugs, weapons, people. If it's illegal, he's got a hand in it. But the craziest part? He's not locked up because he got caught. He's there because he wants to be. For Ballum, prison is safer than the outside world. It's his fortress, keeping him hidden from the hitmen constantly gunning for his head. And with $1 million bounty on him, trust me, there's no shortage of people trying. Inside those prison walls, he still runs his empire like a king, untouchable and in control. New prisoners arrive, including Jack Stone. Jack was arrested for allegedly killing a police officer during a robbery. But Officer Green doesn't buy the tough guy act. He punches Jack and sneers, saying he won't last long behind bars.
How long you think you're gonna last in this place?
A week ago, Jack and two friends staged a bank heist, but this wasn't for personal gain. It was a mission to uncover and expose government and police corruption linked to Ballum. Jack didn't just escape with stolen money. He also took off with highly sensitive files that could expose deep-rooted corruption. But things quickly went south. The police ambushed them, and his friends were gunned down on the spot. Jack barely made it out alive, pushing a crooked cop off a building in the process. And when he was finally cornered, he pulled off his mask and revealed the truth. He was an undercover cop all along. As for the officer he pushed to his death, that wasn't a mistake. That man was a dirty cop, one of the people responsible for Jack's wife's murder. Killing him was the perfect revenge. After the incident, Jack handed the evidence over to a journalist named Trisha, asking her to investigate and report the truth.
What do you want?
Use the information of the cell.
Back inside the jail, Jack is assigned a cell with Silva. During lunch, Ballum's cousin Semyon tries to extort protection money from a new inmate. When the inmate refuses, Semyon brutally beats him. He turns to Jack next, but before Semyon can finish his threat, Jack knocks him and his men out cold. The guards punish Semyon by tossing him into solitary confinement. And what about Jack? Well, he just finished his lunch and left, minding his own business. But the incident has gotten Ballum's attention. Jack gets called into a room where Ballum is watching him on a security screen. Ballum tries to intimidate him by bringing up Jack's wife's death and warning him to stay out of his business. But Jack doesn't even flinch. He hears the threat, but he's not scared.
I will make sure you die like your wife.
3 inmates were asked to sneak into Jack's cell to assassinate him. Jack takes them out effortlessly without waking his cellmate. Meanwhile, Trisha continues digging into the evidence Jack gave her. She tries to speak to the prosecutor, but he's conveniently always called away. Instead, she's told to hand the evidence to his assistant, Mark. Trisha hesitates, sensing something's off. Finally, she decides to return later in person. Another inmate, William, warns Jack to stay alert. Jack admits he's not afraid of Ballum or Semyon, and asks about Ballum's secret cell location. Even most guards don't know where Ballum's actually held.
Are you not afraid of Ballum?
No.
later, we are shifted to a nearby women's prison where two inmates get into a fight. One of them, Alina, was taken away. Alina had just beaten up one of Balam's trusted women, and now Balam wants to deal with her personally. Balam launched a deadly contest, $100,000 to any inmate who could kill Jack Stone and bring him Jack's head.
$100,000, Jack Stone's head.
William tells Jack about the price on his head. Soon, inmates come after him, but Jack fights them off with a little help from William. Meanwhile, Balam gets a call from District Attorney Johnson. Trisha has found evidence that could bring everything crashing down. Balam tells Johnson to get rid of her. As for Jack, he swears he'll make sure Jack doesn't live to see another sunrise.
All right, I'll take care of her.
He's dead by the end of the day.
Jack again is trapped in the laundry room and beaten by the cops. When he leaves, a group of inmates prepares to attack him. Jack stood calm, and he told them if they split the bounty, each would get a measly $11,000, hardly worth dying for. Upon hearing this, the inmates walked away, realizing it was not worth risking their lives for a few $1,000s. Meanwhile, outside the prison walls, Trisha confides in her friend Allison, revealing just how deep the corruption runs. Inside the nearby women's prison, another plan is already in motion. Alina pretends to make peace with Kat, Balam's trusted enforcer. The act doesn't last long. A brutal fight breaks out, and Alina is sent to the infirmary, bruised and bloodied. But that was the goal all along. Alone in the medical room, Alina slips out of her restraints, climbs into the air vents, and starts mapping out the surveillance cameras. She even hides drugs and alcohol in William's mop bucket, setting up their next move. It turns out William is not just another inmate. He's an undercover FBI agent, and Alina is his partner. They've been working on this case from the inside for 6 long months. Back in the men's prison, Trisha manages to visit Jack once more. She warns him that Balam's power is spreading fast, both inside and outside the walls. Jack listens, but his mind drifts to memories of his wife. The loss still haunts him, but it also strengthens his determination. He knows he has to finish what he started. At the same time, Balam is visited by his daughter. She doesn't show up with kindness, only anger and disappointment. She calls him out for the monster he's become. After she storms off,
that all of those things I read in those files are not true.
Balam steps out of his cell. That's when William makes his move. He gives Alina the signal. She collapsed, pretending to be unconscious. When a warden came to check on her, she and William quickly overpowered her and knocked her out before he could call for help. With the path clear, William disguises himself as a guard and heads straight for the control room. Alina sneaks into the CCTV hub. The moment she spots Balam leaving the visitation area, William unlocks Jack's cell. It's time to end this. Blaine, the corrupt warden, discovers the CCTV room has been breached. Meanwhile, William opens all prison doors, starting a riot. Prisoners started to attack guards. Officer Green tries to flee, but Jack intercepts him and shoves him into the angry mob. Outside, Trisha is nearly murdered by Allison, who's been working with DA Johnson all along. But just in time, Mark reveals himself as an undercover FBI agent and saves Trisha. Jack finds Balam. Jack and Balam got into a brutal fight, and for a moment, it looked like Jack was finished. But then he remembered why he was there. He saw his wife's face in his mind, and that pain turned into power. With everything he had left, Jack got back up and took Balam down once and for all. The SWAT team rushed in, shutting the chaos down fast. Order was finally restored. William introduced Jack to Alina, and together they watched as the FBI rounded up everyone tied to Balam's dirty empire, from the prison halls to the highest offices on the outside. Jack was taken into custody, but not as a prisoner. The FBI wanted Jack on their side to help bring down even more corruption from the inside out. Sometimes, justice doesn't wear a badge. It walks in with nothing to lose. Jack, Trisha, William, and Alina put everything on the line to bring the truth to light. And this time, the good guys won. This is Riot, a 2015 action thriller about an undercover cop who throws himself into prison to bring down a deadly crime syndicate from the inside.